Well, howdy y'all, this here's a Handy Redneck. It's 15th of April, about 5:30 in the afternoon, 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and with the last couple of days of rains we've got, it's reminded me to let y'all know about a little secret for your gardens. Especially when you're transplanting something, this little secret is a wonder. And here it is. That's right, the secret is ground cinnamon. And you're like, well, what the... Hey, redneck, what the crap's that gonna do? Well, ground cinnamon has some interesting properties. For one thing, when you're transplanting a new plant in, you sprinkle some of this down in the hole. Well, once it's sprinkled down in the hole, then you transplant in. And why is that, do you ask? Well, that's quite simple, really. Cinnamon is antifungal. So it's going to keep any fungus, especially when things get a little too wet, from developing and killing off your plants. Ever heard of dampening off when you lose seedlings? That's often because there's a microscopic fungus in there that's robbing them of nutrients and everything, and they die off. Two, ground cinnamon is a known rooting hormone. So even it's not as good as a commercial rooting hormone for your plants, but it does work to assist them. And again, if you're trying to root something, generally speaking, you got it in a very moist environment, which is very conducive to developing fungus and other things. Now, three, there ain't a lot of insects that like the smell of cinnamon. And believe it or not, for certain plants and everything, you can actually use your ground cinnamon as a pest deterrent. Now, it don't always work. There are some pests that no matter what you do, they're going to get in there. There are some pests that, like the what is it, the squash vine borer. You know, you might be able to keep the adult away for a little while, but a good rain or something comes along and your cinnamon washes away, you'll end up with an opening for that there squash vine borer to get in. And if it gets in, well, you lost your crop of squash. But at the same time, if that squash vine borer's already got in there and then you pour the cinnamon on, well, that larva is going to hatch out underneath the cinnamon and go digging right into that vine anyway. So, you know, I'm applying bottles of cinnamon all over all of my gardens and my stuff up on the porch and planters. And the main reason I'm doing it is because it has been raining the last couple of days. Everything is still really wet. So I want to try to cut back on the possibility of running into a fungus killing off the plants. So, with that, like I say, I did up here and got those tomatoes and whatnot. So, interesting thing about all this is, you're like, wow, that's a miracle stuff. Yeah, it is. You go to a dollar store, you can get those things for a jar for about $1. So for $2, I pretty much treated every plant I own with an antifungal. It's a natural antifungal. It is a non-toxic antifungal. So by using it, I'm not contributing to the death of bugs, because bugs is two different categories of insects. You've got beneficial and non-beneficial, and if you spray or use something that kills the non-beneficial, well, guess what? It also kills the beneficial. Now, with that, like I say, we done cinnamoned up everything to get rid of a possible fungal infection. As we water, the cinnamon will actually work its way through the dirt, killing off some of the fungus, because as it becomes diluted, it's less powerful. So there are some good fungus in soil. Don't get me wrong. Don't think fungus is bad. Fungus isn't bad either. It's just when we get too much fungus and too much water, we have the possibility of root rot and other things. Now, root rot is oftentimes caused by too much water and a fungus getting in there and attaching to the root. Well, guess what? With the cinnamon, we have the possibility of maybe not completely killing off the fungus, but knocking it back severely. And B, cinnamon has a known benefit of promoting root growth. So with root growth and killing off the fungus, we have the potential there to greatly protect our plants in a non-toxic way. Well, non-toxic to most things. Now, another great thing about ground cinnamon is if you got stinky feet. The reason you got stinky feet is there's a fungus growing inside your shoe. You sprinkle some cinnamon in your shoes, and it will kill off that fungus, and you won't have a stinky foot no more. Most toe issues, when it comes to the nails on your toes, the reason they turn color and everything is because they got a fungus. Well, you keep putting your foot in that shoe where the fungus lives, that toe's going to keep getting a fungus. You're going to have to keep using medication on it. Put the cinnamon in your shoe, get that shoe aired out and dried out, and that fungus will get killed off with that cinnamon. Well, when you put your foot in there with any possible additional fungus in there, that cinnamon is going to go to work and try to take care of any fungus on your foot as well. So there's a benefit to it there. Another benefit is cinnamon rolls. Oh yeah. You make a homemade cinnamon rolls with fresh raw honey. Ooh, doggy, is that good eating. Anyway, that's about all I got for you in the case of talking about cinnamon as a gardening miracle or secret seasoning for your garden. So, this is a Handy Redneck. I'll talk at y'all later.